and anything. So welcome everyone, and so today it's exceptional. Usually we have we meet on Wednesdays, but today it's a bit exceptional. Thank you, Nico, for organizing everything. Yeah, so easy going, really. Okay, so that's very fine. Okay, okay. So do you remember what we spoke about last time? Anyone? Any word? Any sentence?
We were looking at the quiz that was a little bit difficult, right?
Oh, yes, I'm really sorry. I have to apologize. Sometimes I'm a bit ahead of my head. And so, yeah, I must apologize, but the next sessions will go back to more simple things. Yeah. Okay. So last time we saw one entity and different entities. Do you remember? Yes, okay. So what would mean for two phenomena to be one entity, if you remember? Like for instance, with some concrete examples, yeah. For instance, this cup and that book. This cup and that book, are they one entity or different entities?
Different entities,
Different entities because?
because the book is a book, the cup is a cup.
Okay. So
And
we could say that this book and impermanent are different entities because the book is a book and impermanent is impermanent.
yes, indeed, yeah. Indeed, yeah.
So the book and impermanence are one entity, yeah? Because if both would appear to the same direct perception, they would not appear separately. Yeah, book and impermanent. Yeah, do you agree? But
Yes,
book
great.
and cup, they necessarily appear separately. Yeah,
Indeed.
so they are
Yeah, yeah.
necessarily different entities. Okay, very good. So that's what we spoke about last time. Okay, so today we'll try to go further in logic. Yeah, we'll try to see a little bit the syllogism. So, did anyone never hear about the syllogism? Okay. Everybody knows, okay. So syllogism, like usually we use one famous example, one famous sample. We will use the subject sound is impermanent because it is produced. That's a syllogism. Yeah. So that's a syllogism because we have a subject, a predicate, and a reason that is supposed to prove the predicate with regard to the subject. Yeah, we want to prove that sound is impermanent. How do we prove it? By using the reason it is produced. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good syllogism. Yeah, that's a good reason, a good proof, or a good syllogism. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Trila. You want to speak?
Me?
No, they didn't want to speak. I thought you wanted to unmute.
No.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so Trila, because now you're already unmute. Okay, so if I tell you, you will just tell me if the syllogism I give to you is correct or not. If you feel that there is something wrong, just say it's not correct. Yeah, you, you may not say the reason is not established or things like this. Just you can say, oh, there's something wrong there. Okay, yeah. For instance, okay, if I say take the subject table, it is a table because it is a table. Do we have subject, predicate, and proof?
No,
No. Why?
because it's the only one subject and one predicate and one, so there's no syllogism. Sorry, I'm in the street. I'm arriving home. Sorry. for the noise.
Ah, okay, no problem.
Being a
Uh,
table does not prove that it is a table.
Exactly.
Yes, yes, okay. We could say, as Christine and Rocio said, exactly, that there is no difference at all between the subject and the predicate, or the subject and the proof, or the reason, or the predicate and the reason. Yeah, we need at least minimalist kind of difference between the subject, the predicate, and the reason. If there is no difference at all, like it's exactly the same word each time, we would say that it's a wrong syllogism. Yeah, it's a wrong kind of syllogism, and yeah, a non-established syllogism. Yeah, okay, so that's just one point. Okay, but if I tell you the subject sound is impermanent because it's momentary,
Perfect. I accept.
yeah, everybody accepts? Okay, very good. Yeah, we prove the definiendum impermanent by using the definition momentary. Yeah, so that works. Yeah, very good. Okay, so now if I tell you, okay, the subject sound is impermanent because it exists.
The reason
Exist.
is not established.
Yeah, so it's not a kind of good syllogism, yeah? Yeah,
Nope.
if I say the subject sound is impermanent because it exists, we think there is something wrong, yeah? And we are right to think that there is something wrong. Okay, so what is wrong in that?
There is no pervasion. It's not because something exists that it is necessarily impermanent.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So exactly as Nicolas said, if it exists, it can be impermanent, or it may not be impermanent. Yeah. So to exist doesn't prove that it is impermanent. Yeah. Do you agree with that? Okay. We could say the subject sound exists because it is impermanent in this case. That works, no? If it's impermanent, it has to exist. If it's momentary changing, it has to exist at the first place. On the first place, yeah. Okay, but the way around doesn't work, yeah. If we say the subject sound is impermanent because it exists, then no pervasion. No pervasion, yeah. It's not because it exists that it has to be impermanent. Yeah? Yeah? Do you all agree with that? Yes, very good. Okay, very good. So our first job when we have a syllogism is to check if the reason is established. What means the reason is established? What does it mean?
That the reason proves the predicate. Or the second one.
Yeah, so in this case, we would say that the reason is perfect. It's a perfect syllogism. In this sense, we would say so. But yes, if we say that the reason is not established, the relationship between two items is the reason and the subject. Yeah, the predicate is put aside for now. We will deal with that after. But the first job of the defender when the challenger is addressing a syllogism, like for instance, the subject sound is impermanent because it is consciousness. For instance, if I say the subject sound is impermanent because it's consciousness, so the reason is not established means that that reason is not the property of the subject, doesn't exist with the subject. Yeah. Like sound is not consciousness. Sound is what?
Sound is matter.
Yes,
But then I'm sorry, can I please ask again what you just said about the reason is not the property of the subject?
exactly. Yeah. So it means that in one sense we could say that the reason would not be a characteristic of the subject, or the reason would not exist with the subject. You would not find any common base between the subject and the reason in that case, if the reason is not established. You cannot find any common base between sound and consciousness.
But then can I say because the reason is not, because the subject is not the reason, therefore the reason is not established?
Yes, but sometimes the subject is not the reason. For instance, if I say the subject today is Saturday because yesterday was Friday, is that a good syllogism?
Could you please say the syllogism again?
Yes, yes, sorry. Today, the subject today is Saturday because yesterday was Friday. We prove it, yeah?
Yeah, it is, for me, it's correct.
Yes, exactly, for me as well. But is Friday a characteristic of Saturday, of the
No,
subject?
it is a bit indirect.
Yes,
Okay, it's
exactly.
not directly the reason is the subject. This
Yes,
other subject is the reason.
yes,
The reason has the characteristic in the subject.
yes, in many cases. But in other cases, we could say that the reason has to exist with the subject. Yeah, it means that in reality, the definition is like this. Yeah, in Tibetan, we would say the definition of the property of the subject is the that which is ascertained by valid cognition to only exist with the subject. Yes, in accordance with the mode of assertion in that proof. So it has to exist exclusively with the subject. So it means that any Saturday has to come after Friday. That's what it means. Yeah, it doesn't mean that Friday is a characteristic of Saturday, but that Saturday necessarily exists after Friday or as a tomorrow with regard to Friday. Yeah, or Friday is the yesterday with regard to Saturday. Yeah? It's true at any time. Yeah? In any case, it has to be true. Yeah. For instance, when we say the subject sound is impermanent because it is produced, any sound has to be produced. Yeah. Yeah, okay. The subject sound is impermanent because it is produced. If any sound is not produced, then the syllogism would not be true. Because we could say, yes, but there are some exceptions. Yeah, so there should not be any exception. Any sound, because it is matter, has to be produced. Yes? So the property of the subject is established. Yeah? Yeah?
So
Do you agree with that?
can we say the relationship between A, the subject is the reason, and B, the property of the subject is three possibilities?
Yes, we could say so. We could say so. Yeah. Yeah, if it is a characteristic of the subject, it is the property of the subject. But if it is the property of the subject, it's not necessarily the one of the characteristics of the subject, but it has to exist with the subject. It means that any Friday has to be yesterday with regard to Saturday. It exists with Saturday. It's not a characteristic of Saturday, but it has to exist with Saturday. Yeah. And that's why it's the way to express that is a bit specific in Tibetan. Yeah? And so on. Tengdu, yeah? It exists with the subject. Okay, so sometimes we have difficulties with regard to the syllogism, but we haven't studied Tariq yet, but I hope in the future we can find some ways to decipher a little bit those definitions of the property of the subject, the pervasion, and so on. Yeah? But for now, we just go in simple things. Okay, very good. Very good. So the first job of the defender is to check the property of the subject. Yeah, in any three-part consequence, yeah, it follows that A is B because of C. Yeah, three parts consequence. First, your job is to check does C is C accurate with regard to A? Is the reason accurate with regard to the subject? Yeah, that's the first job. If it's not the case, you can say the reason is not established. Yeah, is not established as existing only with that subject. Yeah, in one sense, that's what we mean. Yeah, yeah. Is that okay for everyone? Yes, wonderful. Wow, we're so happy. So happy to accomplish the wishes of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. That's beautiful. Okay. So the first job is that. So when we discover that the reason is established, it's not enough. Yeah, because I could say the subject sound is a horn of the rabbit because it is impermanent. The reason is established. Yeah, do you agree? Sound is impermanent.
Yeah.
Yeah, so impermanent exists exclusively with that subject. Yeah, we could say. Okay. But does impermanent prove that sound is a horn of the rabbit? Rabbit's horn. No, no, I see many no. Many unhappy faces. No, what you say is just bullshit. Sorry, I see that in your eyes. Okay. Okay, exactly. The subject sound is a horn of the rabbit because it is impermanent. Okay, sound is impermanent, but impermanent doesn't prove that sound is a rabbit horn. So if it doesn't prove that, we say no pervasion. Yeah, no pervasion. It's the reason. The reason is not sorry. The reason is not pervaded by the predicate. Yeah, okay. Usually the reason has to be pervaded by the predicate. Yeah, so what does it mean? What does it mean? Okay, so you can imagine you have a target in front of you. You have a target and you want to point towards the target. So this target would be the predicate. You want to hit the point. Yeah, okay. So the target would be the predicate. And you want to hit the target, the predicate, through the reason. So you put another target in front of the first one. So if you hit the reason, you have to hit the predicate. Yeah, if you say the subject sound exists because it is impermanent, if you hit towards impermanent, if you hit impermanent, you necessarily hit existent. Yeah, do you agree with that? Okay, so it follows that the reason which is used in order to hit the predicate, the target predicate, the reason has to be at least coextensive with the predicate or smaller than the predicate. Yeah, if you put a small target in front of a big target and you hit the small one, are you sure to hit the bigger one? No, no. Okay. Yeah, I will use some device, very high-tech devices. Okay, this is my target. You want to go in the heart of His Holiness, yeah? Okay. Okay. So you want to make the Guru Yoga, so you want to go towards His Holiness. So if you put something smaller just in front of His Holiness, if you hit the something smaller in front of His Holiness, you necessarily hit behind, yeah, the target, yeah, His Holiness, yeah. Okay, so then you make the Guru Yoga. That's beautiful. Okay, so that's what we mean when we say the subject sound. It exists because it is impermanent. You know that impermanent is smaller than existent. Yeah, the extension of impermanent is smaller than existent. So if you hit impermanent, you necessarily hit existent. So you prove your point. Yeah. But the way around doesn't work. If you say the subject sound is produced or is impermanent because it exists, the target in front of you is much bigger than the predicate behind. So you could hit or not hit the predicate. Yeah? If you say the subject sound is impermanent because it exists, if you touch exist, you not necessarily you would touch impermanent. Yeah, because there are many things that exist that are impermanent and many other phenomena that are not impermanent. Okay, so it's just some kind of theory, but we will use that, we will play with that. Yeah, we have some time to play with that. Okay. Okay, so the two targets can be coextensive, they can be exactly the same size, or the proof has to be a little bit smaller than the predicate. Because if you hit the proof, you necessarily hit the predicate. Okay, yeah, very good, very good. So if I tell you, I will give you other examples. Yeah, the subject table is impermanent because it's made of wood.
Accept.
Okay, accept.
Accept.
Okay, accept.
I don't know if you heard me, but I accept. I don't know if my mic was open.
I also
Okay,
accept.
accept. Wow, you are so easy to convince. So it follows that any table is made of wood.
No. Why?
Ah, so it follows that not every table is made of wood.
I accept.
Accept. Okay. Not every table is made of wood because?
Because there's table made out of steel.
Yeah, exactly. Tables made of glass, tables made of marble and so on. Yeah, stone table, wood table, and so on, glass table, steel table, exactly. So I would say the reason is not established. Yeah, the subject table is impermanent because it is made of wood. So it would follow that any table is made of wood. No?
But then I think this syllogism is still correct because then maybe you talk about that particular table which is wooden, because if it is made of wood, it is necessarily impermanent.
Yes, exactly, Trilla. If we point towards a wooden table, we will say this wooden table is impermanent because it's made of wood. That would be a perfect syllogism. Yeah, that's true.
Mm.
But if we say the subject table is the subject table made of wood? Just table in general. There are so many tables which are made of wood and so many which are not made of wood. So is table itself made of wood? Ah, that's a question, yeah. We discovered today that not every table is made of wood. Wow. So I would say the reason is not established, yeah. If we say, yeah, this table, which is made of wood, okay, this table is impermanent because it's made of wood, that's okay. But if we say table is impermanent because it's made of wood, we have a problem. Like I would say, subject sound is impermanent because it's the sound of a guitar.
Reason is not established.
The reason is not established. Not every sound is a sound of a guitar. Yeah? Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, Nicola is so disappointed.
I was just wondering, is the subject table a table?
Yes. Yes, because it has the definition of a table. Yeah? Yes. So table in general is a table. Sound in general is a sound. But which kind of sound is that? That's a problem. Yeah. Like color. Which color is that? Is color blue or is color red? That's difficult, yeah. But color is a color, but which color is that? That's difficult. We would say that's the general isolate color, yeah. Okay, in one sense, or the illustration as a isolate. Okay. Yeah. Do you have any further questions? I see Zigrun appearing like Nirmanakaya. Yeah, I guess in the Middle Age, those screens would be like the Nirmanakayas. Okay. Okay. Very good. So if we say, okay, okay, the subject sound is it exists because it is matter. Is that a good syllogism?
Accept.
Yes, accept. Yeah, the subject, what did I say? Sound.
Sound. Does it matter? Is
A sound is impermanent because it's matter, yeah? The subject sound is impermanent because it's matter. Yeah, is sound matter? That's the first job of the defender, yeah? So the reason is established, yeah? Okay, now that we proved that the reason is established, is there any perversion? Does matter prove, does being matter prove that it is impermanent? Does it prove being impermanent? Yeah, or does matter prove impermanent?
accept.
Yes, accept. Yeah, if it is matter, it's necessarily impermanent. Yeah, do you agree with that? Okay, so we have a perfect syllogism. Yeah, yeah. Okay, very good. Okay, perfect. So now, okay. So if I say now, we will try to review the logical comparisons. Yeah. It follows that if there are no common base, it's necessarily contradictory. So it's not a syllogism, it's just a two-part consequence, but we will try to go further. So it follows that if there are no common base, it's necessarily contradictory. No common base, no common locus. Yeah. Oh,
Accept.
Why?
we will have some fights. Yeah, accept and why?
Because
Okay.
okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Because if there's no common base, it's contradictory.
Okay. So Christine
Because
has
it
a
violates.
counterexample.
Because horn of a rabbit and Christophe don't have a common base, but horn of a rabbit is not an existent.
So
You
it
had
cannot be contradictory.
It cannot be contradictory.
Very good, Christine. Yeah, we could say like a blue horned rabbit and pink horned rabbit don't have any common base. Yeah.
Exactly.
There is no phenomenon which can be both blue horned rabbit and pink horned rabbit. Does it mean that those horns of the rabbit are contradictory?
No, because they don't.
Because
They're not existent.
exactly because they are not different, and the definition of contradictory is
They don't share a common base and they're different.
yes, different and no common base. 다들 시주미시파. Yeah, different and no common base. But the two horns of the rabbit, they are not different because
They don't exist.
yes, they are not diverse phenomena. Yeah, and to be different, they need to exist, they need to be phenomena. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. So if I say, take the subject, it follows that the subject, two horns of the rabbit are contradictory because they have no common base. What would you say?
The reason is not established.
So it follows that they have common base.
No perversion.
Okay, no perversion. Yeah, the reason is established. There is no common base at all in the multiverse of Doctor Strange between two horns of the rabbit, but they are not contradictory. They don't exist. Yeah. So it's not because there are no common base that they are contradictory. No perversion. Yeah, it doesn't prove anything. The reason is established, but it doesn't prove the predicate. Yeah. Wow. Do you follow me? Yeah. I cannot see the eyebrows for the people who have no cam, so I just infer that it's okay. Okay, when I see the eyebrows, like for instance, sure, sometimes more like yeah, wants to use a critical mind, critical analysis, and find some counterexamples. That's good. Okay, very good. So if I say, yeah, it follows that two horns of the rabbit are contradictory because they have no common base. No pervasion, yeah. They have no common base, but the reason is not pervaded by the predicate. Yeah, we could say there is no entailment. I say that in French, pas d'implication. No entailment, yeah. Not to have any common base does not entail being contradictory. Yeah, being different and having no common base, yes, it entails being contradictory. Yeah, there is a perfect pervasion. Yeah, okay.
So
Okay.
Christopher, we can also say that the fact there is no common base between two horns of rabbit is not pervaded by
Yes,
contradictory.
exactly. That's this way, exactly. That's this way because in Tibetan and Sanskrit, they will use in that way. Yeah, the predicate has to pervade the reason. That's why we said before the two targets. Yeah, the two targets. If if this one target is smaller than the other one, then if the target reason is smaller than the target predicate, it is pervaded by the target predicate. Yeah, so that's why we say pervasion. But in French, we use the other way around. If it is that reason, it entails that it is that predicate. Yeah, so that's more or less two different ways to express the same thing. But in Sanskrit and predicate, the vyapti, the pervasion in Sanskrit, yeah, it comes from the way around. Yeah, the predicate has to pervade the reason, has to be at least bigger than the reason. It can be at the same size, the same extension, but it can be at least bigger than the reason. In this case, it works. Yeah, that's why we say it pervades the reason. If it is that reason, it has to be that predicate. Yeah? Is that okay? Okay, wow. Wonderful. Wonderful, really. Okay. Okay. So, if I say it follows that the subject, two tables are equivalent because they have no three possibilities. Sigrun is so happy with that example. The subject two tables are equivalent because they have no three possibilities. You remember, yeah, the comparisons between the phenomena, yeah? Contradiction, equivalence, 3P, 4P. Yeah? So between two tables, it's not 3P. Do you agree? But does it mean that they are equivalent? Does it entail that they are equivalent?
No pervasion.
No pervasion. Yeah, it's not because it's 3P between two phenomena that they are necessarily equivalent. They can be contradictory or 4P. Yeah?
But the two
Yeah.
tables are not, they don't have 3P.
Sorry, Twila?
Because you said, but the two tables, they don't have 3Ps between them.
Accept. So the reason is established, but it doesn't pervade the predicate. Yeah, do you hear me properly? Yeah? Okay. So yeah, the reason is established, but there is no pervasion. Yeah, it's not because the two tables have no 3P that they are equivalent. Yeah, Twila? Does it work? Good. Okay. Wonderful. Yeah, wonderful. Very good. Wow. Okay. Okay, so now take the subject, the book and the cup. They are contradictory because they are different. Oh, ho, ho. So vicious. They don't have any common base, exactly. There is nothing in the multiverse of the Guardians of the Galaxy that could be the cup and the book. Yeah. Okay. So the subject, the two, cup and book, they are contradictory because they are different. Do you accept? Okay, Rocio accepts, Christine. Okay, who else? Who would accept? Who would say, there is something wrong in that? Yeah, the subject, the two.
Pervasion.
Haha, Ziglun would say no pervasion. Posit the pervasion. Yeah, sometimes the challenger would ask the defender to posit to formulate the pervasion.
If they are different, they are
Ziglun,
not
posit the
necessarily
pervasion.
contradictory. But
Sorry?
if they are different, they are not necessarily contradictory.
Yes,
But I don't know
exactly.
how to posit this.
Yeah. So we can posit it like this. If it is contradictory, it's necessarily different. Yeah, because it is in the definition of contradictory. Yeah?
Yeah.
Different and no common base. So if it is contradictory, it has to be different. But if it is different, is it necessarily contradictory? No, for instance. What can be different without being contradictory?
3Ps or 4Ps.
3P and 4P? They are not contradictory. That's interesting. Okay. Okay, so for instance, Trila, if we try to find two illustrations, yeah, one in the configuration of 3P, one in the configuration of 4P. Okay, like for instance, 3P, what can we assert as being 3P?
Red color and color.
Yes, red color and color. Okay, they are 3P. So now, can you posit 4P, something which is 4P?
Color of flower and red color.
4P. So it follows that red color can be not a color.
Color of flower and red color is 4P.
Okay. Yes, that's true. Oh, yeah, sorry. Color of a flower. Yeah, okay. Sorry. Yes. Wonderful. 4P. So if we compare color of a flower and red color on one side, and the other side, what was it? It was red color and color. Yeah, between both, can we find some common base?
No.
So the implication
No,
would
but
be,
the thing is that if they are different, there's not necessarily contradictory because they could be 4P or 3P as well, I say.
yes. Okay. I thought you spoke about the comparison between 3P and 4P, okay, which are contradictory. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, if they're, or they can be also equivalent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yes, very good, Trila. Yeah, true. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, they could have the relationship of 3P, or they could have a relationship of 4P, or they could have equivalence. Okay. Yes, if they are different. As we said, when we have those logical comparisons, they have to be different. Yeah, those phenomena. We cannot compare table and table. We can compare wooden table and table, that's okay, but table and table, we cannot compare them. We cannot say they are equivalent, contradictory, 3P or 4P, because they are not different. Yeah. Okay, very good. Wow, it's a good kind of review, no? Without slides. Wow. You are like professionals of the dialectics. You don't need slides anymore. No, next time we will have some. Yes. Okay. Okay, very good. Very good. So, yeah, the perversion would be if it is contradictory, it's necessarily different. But if it is different, it's not necessarily contradictory. Yeah, that would be the perversion asked by the challenger. Yeah. Okay. Then it's clear in our mind. Yeah. Like for instance, if it is cup, it's necessarily form. But if it is form, it's not necessarily cup. Yeah. So that's the way we can formulate the perversion. Yeah. Wow, wonderful. Okay. Wow. Very good. Okay. So it follows that Nicolas' cat is an animal because it's a sentient being. Yeah.
No perversion.
No perversion. Not any sentient being is a cat.
No.
Don't you feel you're a cat sometimes when you're just lying
Very
down on the
often.
sofa? Okay. Yes. So it follows that human being and cat are contradictory.
Accept.
Okay, what about cat woman? Cat woman.
Non-existent.
Non-existent.
In your dream.
But Halle Berry exists.
Halle Berry is not cat.
Ah, she's not a cat. Okay, I accept. Okay, so cat woman doesn't exist.
Accept.
But I've seen her on the movie last time. In the movie last time. Okay. No, I try to confuse you, but I
So
cannot.
she exists or she doesn't? The Catwoman exists or not exist?
Ah, so Catwoman, does Catwoman exist or not? Yes, Rocio, you accept. Yeah, you're in my club, my fan club.
And,
Yeah,
and no,
Catwoman exists.
I want to
Otherwise,
know. I want to know if she exists or not. Like you say I'm right. No, I have a question mark here. Like I do not know. What would you say? She exists then just because you saw her in the movie?
that could be a kind of way you could say no perversion. It doesn't mean, yeah, it's not because you saw her in a movie that she exists. Wow. Yeah. Okay. We could say that Catwoman as a cultural event exists, but not as a woman, not as a cat. Yeah, there is no common base between a cat and a woman. Okay, wow, wonderful. You're so lucid, I cannot confuse you. I'm so disappointed. No, no, on the contrary. Okay, wow, so nice. So now, now if I say, okay, 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 yeah, I would say, okay, it follows that the pages of the book and the book are equivalent. So is that a two-part consequence or a three-part consequence? Is that a syllogism or not? The subject, the pages of the book and the book are equivalent. Is that a three-part consequence or two-part consequence?
Super.
Parts.
Two-part consequence, yeah? We have a subject and a predicate. We have no reason. I don't explain why, yeah? Okay, if I don't explain why, it's not a syllogism, yeah? Okay, so the subject, the two, the parts, okay, the pages of the book and the book are equivalent. So you would say accept or why? Because,
Why?
okay, those are the only answers from the defender, yeah, if it's a two-part consequence. Okay, so Christine doesn't agree with my assertion, yeah? Who would agree? Nobody. Nobody would agree. Okay, the pages and the book, they are not equivalent, yeah? You agree with that?
They are not equivalent. I agree. No.
Okay, they are not equivalent. Okay, sorry. Yes, they are not equivalent. They are not equivalent because Twila or Christine or
Because
anyone.
you forgot the front page and the back page to make it a book.
Ah, that's the kind of reason I didn't think about. Yeah. Ah, very inventive. Okay. And some other reasons?
Because
There
they
can
don't
be many reasons. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Nico?
because they don't share the 8 doors of pervasion. No, sorry.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
sorry, you
that's
asked why are
nice.
they different, right?
Yes,
They
exactly.
don't have any common base. They don't have any common base.
Yes, okay, because they don't share the 8 doors of perversion. I like this answer as well.
Yeah, I like that one as well. It seems to be like more precise than the common base.
Yes. Ah.
Also
Yes, it
because
seems more precise. That could be, yeah, that way. Okay, but there is no common base. Yeah, that would yeah, if we say, I don't accept that they are equivalent because they are contradictory. Okay, if they are contradictory, they cannot be equivalent. Yeah. Okay, so we prove our point in one sense. But if we speak about the definition of equivalent, that would be nice as well, because they don't share the 8 doors of pervasion. Yeah, yeah, that would be interesting as well. Yeah, to say so. So both are correct. Yeah, your answers are correct. It's not necessarily one kind of justification or proof, yeah, for a point. Okay, very good. So if it follows that if they are contradictory, they are necessarily not equivalent.
Except.
Okay, very good. Because in contradictory, there are no common base at all, and in equivalent, they have only common base. Yeah. Okay, very good. Very good. Yeah, that's nice. Wow. Is it going a little bit too fast or is that okay? Is the pace okay now? Yeah, okay. Okay. I try to read Nicolas' face with the Indian side, otherwise if it's the French side, I would say no, he doesn't. Is okay. Okay, yes. Good. Very good. Okay. So I try to find some other samples, yeah? Very good. So the subject follows that the subject, the person, and the aggregates are equivalent because they are one entity.
No perversion.
No perversion. Okay. Who would say the same? They give the same answer or give something different?
Can you repeat, please?
Yes, I was about to say that.
Person
To give
and the
it
5
again.
aggregates?
Take the subject, the two, the person, and the 5 aggregates are, what did I say? Are equivalent because they are one entity.
The reason is not established.
They
No
are not one
perversion.
entity. It follows that they are not one entity. They are different entities. The person and the aggregates.
One entity.
One entity because?
Because the person is merely designated in dependence upon the aggregates.
Okay, so if the person is merely imputed independence on the aggregates, then it's necessarily one entity. Okay, but for instance, long and short. Yeah, long is imputed independence on short. Yeah, it's the opposite of short. Are they one entity?
Because when they appear as one, non-diverse. When they appear direct mind, they appear as non-diverse.
Yes, exactly. That's more precisely the way to say that. They don't appear separately. Yeah, it doesn't mean that they have to appear as one. So Kedubje would discuss that point in A Dose of Emptiness, a beautiful book. A Dose of Emptiness. Kedubje is discussing that point. Yeah, no, it's not in those. Sorry, it's in Recognizing Reality from Geshe Dreyfus. He's taking an assertion from Kedubje. Kedubje says it's not because they don't appear separately that they have to appear as one. Yeah, that's a specific nuance, but we will not go too much in detail. Okay, so they don't appear separately. The person when the person appears, the aggregates of the person appear, yeah, or one or the other of the aggregates appear. Yeah, I cannot say that your mind appears to me. I cannot say so, but at least one of your aggregates appears to me. Yeah, when you appear to me. Yeah. And you and the aggregates, the aggregate that appears to my eye consciousness, for instance, they don't appear separately. The person and the form of the person, they don't appear separately. Yeah? Do you agree with me? Yeah, for instance, where Nico appears, the face of Nico appears at the same screen, yeah, in the same spot, I would say, yeah, not in other place, yeah. Okay. So the person and the aggregates, sorry, yeah.
Christophe, so the one entity is that when they appear, they don't appear separately. It could appear to your direct mind or to the conceptual thought as well.
Only the direct perception.
Only, okay.
Yeah, only the direct
And the
perception.
one substance, I forgot already.
Sorry?
The one substance.
One substance is, in one sense, we would say, if two phenomena are one entity and both are impermanent, they are one substance. Yeah, it's just the way to express that. Yeah, yeah. So if they are one entity, so they would appear to a direct, they were to appear to a direct perception, and they would not appear separately. So they are one entity. Yeah? And if both are impermanent, they have to appear anyway to a direct perception. Yeah, and they would say they would be said as being one substance. It's just one specific term for both phenomena which are impermanent and they are one entity. They would be one substance. And two phenomena which are impermanent and they are different entities, we would say they are different substances. Yeah, it's just the way to formulate that. But if you say one entity, different entities, it's more specific for any permanent or impermanent phenomena, it works. Yeah, it's a bit broader category. Yeah. Okay, very good. So the person and the aggregates, they are one substance. Accept. Why?
Accept.
Yes, the group accepts. Everybody accepts. The person and the aggregates are one substance. Yes, they are one substance because.
I can
Because
say
they are
that
one entity and they are
Yeah.
impermanent.
Yes, exactly. Christine said so. Yeah, they are one entity and they are impermanent. That's a good reason as well. Yeah.
can
Yeah,
we
very
say also
good.
because can we also say that because in the mind school they're one substance?
Sorry.
We say that it is because in the mind school they're one substance.
Oh, ho, ho, nice, Rocho. Oh, Chitamatrin. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We could say so. Sometimes you can pick in the basket Chitamatra or Vebashika and so on to prove your point. Why not? Yes. Okay. Okay. Then now we need the help of Aryana Gajuna or Acharya Chandrakirti in order to to discuss the Chitamatra. Yes. Okay. So yeah, you understood that point. Yeah, for the Chitamatra, the mind and the form apprehended by that mind, they are one substance. Yeah, because where one appears, the other as well, in one sense. Yeah, they don't appear separately to the same direct perception. Wow, very good. Yeah. Okay, that's nice. Okay, so I will try to find a few other examples because we don't have so much time today. But on Wednesday, I will have some slides in order to go further in that. And please forget the quiz. Forget it. And I will do some other quizzes, but especially made for you, not a recycled one. Yeah, and the recycled one you can use after a few classes, and you will, I'm sure you will, wow, make very good things with that. Okay, I trust you. Please trust yourself as much as I trust you. Okay, so so it follows that if they are not one entity, they are necessarily different entities. If they are not one entity, they are necessarily different entities.
No.
No, Seniko. No, because.
Because if you take two non-existent,
Mm.
they are what did you say?
So if they are not two entities, two different entities, and they are not one entity either. They are nothing of that. So it's not because it's not two different entities that it has to be one entity. It can be just non-existent. But if it exists, and if it's not two different entities, it's necessarily one entity. If it exists, yeah, because it's the one or the other. We have to choose, yeah. Okay, wow, very good, very good. Okay, okay. So if you keep well in mind that one and different, it's mainly done by the thought consciousness, and one entity and different entities, it's mainly done by the job of the, oh, sorry, I forgot to change the name of the camera, but it's okay. Yeah, because I'm in Gendrupa for this weekend, yeah, with the Jean-Paul and everyone. Sorry, I forgot to change the name. Okay. So, yeah, one entity and different entities, yeah. Okay, so if it exists and it's not one entity, it has to be different entities. And if it exists and it's not different entities, it has to be one entity. Yeah, so one entity, different entities, it's a dichotomy in one sense, and it's done mainly by the direct perception. But one and different, it's done mainly by the thought consciousness, like also contradictory, 3P, equivalence, and so on, yeah? Okay, so if it follows that if it is one entity, it's necessarily not one. Because you remember in the Heart Sutra, Zu Tompao Tompani Zuzozo le Tompani Shamain Tompani le Kanzu Shamaino. Yeah. Form is empty. Emptiness is form. There is no other emptiness than form. There is no other form than emptiness. So we could think that they are one. No, they are not one. They are one entity. And if it is one entity, it's necessarily not one. It's necessarily different. Yeah? Do you follow me?
Accept.
Yeah. Two phenomena which we cannot say that this cup is one entity with itself. We don't say that. Yeah. We say that this cup and existent are one entity because they are different. This cup and existent are different. So they can be one entity or different entities if they are different. But if it's just one, it cannot be one entity. And if it is one entity, it cannot be one. It has to be different. Yeah? Wow, wonderful. I'm so happy, really. You cannot imagine. I'm really happy because those tools are so precious for the future, yeah, for the Madhyamaka and so on, and Chittamatra for Rosyo, especially for the Madhyamaka. Or maybe the Yogacara Swatantrika Madhyamaka for Rosyo. Maybe you are not Chittamatra, you are Yogacara Swatantrika. Okay, so, but maybe now we don't see much the purpose of that, the meaning of that, but further, if you had some programs with Gendam Jul, yeah, you know how precious it is. But if it's you are just discovering that, you will for sure one day see how precious it is. Yeah. Okay. So I'm very happy with that, and we have to finish now. I'm really sorry, it's a bit short, but sometimes better short but clear than long and a bit confusing. Yeah. So, yeah, 4P between short and confusing. Okay, next time we'll try to keep on with that if you are okay with that, and we'll try to go further in the divisions of permanent phenomena. Yeah, and we'll try to make the distinction between eternal and permanent, for instance. Yeah, okay. So we will see 4P between that, and we will go in small details. It helps also to understand a little bit the philosophy, mainly explained by Gendam Julia. Okay, thank you so much again for everyone. Thank you so much for the people who joined us. And Nicola, thank you so much. It's always a great pleasure to work with you. And you're so easygoing and so understanding. So, comment on dit, compréhensif. Thank you so much, really. And see you on Wednesday. There should be no issue. I will pray for that. Thank you so much. And for the sake of all the beings, for the long life of our teachers and so on, yeah? And for the Dharma may flourish again and again to be useful for so many people. Thank you so much. See you next time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have an
Thank you very much.
announcement.
Thank
I have
you.
an announcement, but if you stop recording.
Yes. Okay. Yes, Nico is doing that.